Hey, good Thursday morning. Thursday morning, man, we were blessed yesterday, weren't we? We had sunny skies. I mean, yeah, it was breezy. But if you were able to get out and soak up some of that vitamin C, oh my goodness, it was a blessing. And it was renewed hope, reminding us that, yes, even though we're in the midst of winter, spring is around the corner. And I think looking at yesterday kind of reminded me of the winter of COVID-19. But you know what? The vaccinations are being rolled out and the numbers continue to decrease. And again, hope. I see hope. And yesterday afternoon, I got a phone call from a friend who lives down in the Charleston, West Virginia area, and they had a bad experience with the church, and not a Methodist church, but a church in the community. And they were reaching out to me just to talk about it, to just see what kind of advice I could give. And, the folks from that church posted some nasty things on social media about this person. And we had a talk about it. And in the midst of our talk, I remembered a book that I read in seminary. It was called Messy Spirituality by Michael Yaconelli. You can find it for yourself. I'm sure it's on the computer somewhere. You can find it probably on eBay or Amazon. I don't know. But Messy Spirituality. There it is. And I'm going to share with you a person's experience. And this experience came from school. But Christians can be cruel. They can. Followers of Jesus need to follow Jesus. And we need to love one another as Jesus calls us to. For almost 40 years, Margaret lived with the memory of one soul-scarring day in her school. From the first day Margaret came to this class, she and Miss Garner, her bitter and harsh teacher, didn't get along. Over the years, the animosity between them only worsened, until one fateful day when Margaret was 9 years old, her life changed forever. That day, Margaret frantically raced into her classroom after recess. She was late again. Miss Garner was furious. "Margaret, get up here. Come to the front of the class," she shouted as loud as she could so all the students could hear. Margaret walked slowly to the teacher's desk. She was told to face the class, and then the nightmare began. Miss Garner ranted, "Boys and girls, Margaret has been a bad girl. I've been trying to help her to be responsible, but apparently she doesn't want to learn. So we must teach her a lesson. We must force her to face what a selfish person she has become. And I want each of you to help me. I want you to come to the front of the room, take a piece of chalk, and you write something about Margaret on the blackboard. Maybe this experience will motivate her to become a better person." Margaret stood frozen next to Miss Garner. One by one, the students began a silent procession to the blackboard. One by one, the students wrote their life-smothering words, slowly extinguishing the light of Margaret's soul. Margaret is stupid. Margaret is selfish. Margaret is fat. Margaret is a dummy. On and on, the students wrote, until 25 terrible scribblings of Margaret's badness screamed from the blackboard. The venomous sentences taunted Margaret in what felt like the longest day of her life. After walking home with each of those caustic words written on her soul, she crawled into her bed, claiming sickness. And she tried to cry the pain away, but the pain never left. And 40 years later, she slumped in the waiting room of a counselor's office. And as Paul Harvey, the late great radio personality, would say, here's the rest of the story. After decades of depression and anxiety, Margaret had finally sought help, and she was having the last meeting with her counselor. 2 long years of weekly counseling helped Margaret to finally find herself and cut herself from the past. It had been a long and difficult road, but she smiled at her counselor. How long it's been since she smiled, as they talked about her readiness to move on and to enjoy life. Well, Margaret, the counselor said softly, I guess it's graduation day for you. How are you feeling? After a long silence, Margaret spoke. I'm okay. Counselor hesitated. Margaret, I know this is going to be difficult, but just to make sure you're ready to move on, I'm going to ask you to do something. I want you to go back to your schoolroom, and I want you to detail the events of that day. Take your time. Describe each of the children as they approach the blackboard. Remember what they wrote and remember how you felt. All 25 students. In a way, this was going to be easy because for Margaret, 40 years, she remembered every detail. And yet, to go through the nightmare one more time would take every bit of strength that she had. After a long silence, she began the painful description one by one. She described each of the students vividly, as though she had just seen them, stopping periodically to regain her composure, forcing herself to face each of these students one more time. Finally, she was done, and the tears would not stop, could not stop. Margaret cried a very long time before she realized someone was whispering her name. Margaret! Margaret! She looked up to see her counselor staring into her eyes, saying her name over and over again. Margaret stopped crying for just a moment. Margaret, you left out one person. I certainly did not. I've lived with this for 40 years. I know every student by heart. No, Margaret, you did forget someone. There was somebody else in that room with you. You were not alone. He's sitting in the back of the classroom. He's standing up. He's walking towards your teacher, Miss Gardner. She's handing him a piece of chalk, and he's taking it, Margaret. He's taking that chalk from her hand. Now he's walking over to the blackboard. He's picking up an eraser, and he's erasing every one of those sentences that the students wrote. Those words that they wrote about you are gone, Margaret. They're gone. Now he's turning. He's looking at you. Do you recognize him yet, Margaret? He's looking you in the eyes. His name is Jesus. He was there 40 years ago. He's writing new sentences on the board. Margaret is loved. Margaret is beautiful. Margaret is gentle. Margaret is kind. Margaret is strong. Margaret has great courage. And Margaret began to weep. But very quickly the weeping turned into a smile, and then into laughter, and then into tears of joy. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because as followers of Jesus, we need to be careful with our words. We need to be careful with what we post on social media. We need to be gentle. We need to be kind. We need to be loving. And I hope and pray that today you'll take time to encourage someone. You'll take time to help someone. Yeah, wherever you are. This is Pastor Bill from St. Luke's United Methodist Church, Harrisville, West Virginia, Ritchie County, West Virginia. Wherever you are, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, and I hope you're safe. Have a great day, and God bless.